Good afternoon, crafters. My name is Hannah Roxbury and I am the brand ambassador for Carnation Crafts. And this evening is the last part, the final show for today's day full of Halloween special Facebook Lives celebrating the deal of the day today, which is brand new special edition Halloween vignettes for previously released dies. Now, don't worry if you have missed the other two shows, we always upload them afterwards. You can watch them back at your leisure on our Facebook brand page or indeed on our YouTube channel. I will pop the links up after this live so you can watch both of those back. So this afternoon, or today should I say, has been about the brand new launch, which is today's deal of the day, so only available until 1 minute to midnight tonight, which are the special edition Halloween vignettes. Now these are vignettes for previously released dies, and a few people have been asking, will they work with my USBs? Not really, because they are designed to work and sized to match with the dies. We have popped in the comments of most of the social posts a full list of the dies that the vignettes relate to, the artwork relates to. And once again, at the end of this live, I will post up a link letting you know the exact ones we've used in this demonstration. So if you want to replicate this card, you are more than welcome to do so. We do have a completely open angel policy at Carnation Crafts. I can see lots and lots and lots of people joining already, which is fabulous. So thank you so much. We have got Therese, we've got Marie, we've got Sophie and Pam's here as well. Deborah has messaged hello again with a ghost, a pumpkin, a bat and a skull and crossbones emoji. As I said in the earlier lives, I'm loving the emojis today, absolutely fabulous. We have got Caroline says, have enjoyed all the demos, thank you. Caroline, you are more than welcome. I've enjoyed bringing them to you and it's just lovely to hear that you guys are enjoying them too. Cindy says, feeling very spoiled with all these shows. Well, we wanted to do something a little bit fun, a little bit different. Normally we would bring you one Facebook Live each week, obviously Rue dependent, Rue being my little baby. But yeah, to celebrate Halloween, to celebrate the launch of these vignettes, we wanted to offer you lots of inspiration. Now, it is really worth noting, yes, these are sort of a Halloween themed designs, but as we've mentioned before, these don't necessarily just have to be for Halloween. These could be gothic inspired birthdays. They could be anniversary cards with a little bit of twist of humour. I think this evening's one that we're going to do, you might find great for just a little bit of humour when it comes to anniversary cards, or just because your friends love that more sort of spooky feel to your designs. The colourways within the artwork are spectacular. I want to go through and show you sort of all the samples created by Janine, who is our lead DT, because I just think they're so inspirational. So here we have a doorstep scene. We showed it in the very first live, but just in case you missed it, isn't that fab? So the door and the window are from the Grand Reception die set, part of Vernal Bloom's die collection. And Janine has decorated her steps, she's decorated the glass, she's decorated it all with the Halloween inspired special edition vignettes. I love them. Let's have a look inside the door. We have got our little mice from the Enchanters. They're brewing up a potion. There's a couple of candles in there. You might spot Wiley the wolf now behind the window there as well. And if I can just find the little button, we do have bright lights, little tiny lights, our tiny lights in the background. Can you see that glow behind our wolf? So great way of incorporating a little bit of drama to your designs as well. Next up, let's have another look. Oh, this is another one of Janine's, absolutely fabulous. We created something similar for the first demonstration. This is Janine's spell book. So she's curved the pages, a little bit of a touch there with a curved edge to the corner, loaded the pages with the floral designs, and we've got Mr. Mouse brewing a potion there. Slightly different to the one we showed you this morning, but again, options, ways of using these. The die base itself, the spell book, if you like, is from the Wedding Volume die set, part of Fairy Tale Day. And the various die sets I will go through as we go through this demonstration, because I'll be using a few of these as well. I'm just going to run through them really to give you a little look over at the ones you could be creating, just a small idea really. Look at this one. This one's sort of the inspiration for the second demonstration we did today with Wiley Wolf this time. A few elements from Misty Morning, the Time Worn and the Avenue there. Over the Trees from Tranquil Times, and of course Mr. Wolf is there from Tranquil Times as well. Do you see how each and every single one of these colorways, each and every single one of these themes for these cards works together? So even though these dies are all from different sets, different collections, things like that, they all work together. And do you know what? I think that is the beauty of Carnation. Here we have, I love this one. This is the gilded frame from A Christmas Eve, and actually this is the inspiration for this evening's Facebook Live. I'll be doing my own take, my own version of Janine's beautiful card. Again, florals in here, this black rose, really sumptuous design. That is the flourished floral die set. We've got the happy wedding couple there from the wedding volume as well. So again, you can see how these start to mix and match. Even more inspiration. Why don't you do a magical birthday card? How about something like this? So we've got the backing papers coming into play here. We've popped links up, but I will pop them up after this live as well. Free to download backing papers, which I just love. So these could be for your scrapbook pages. These could be like Janine's used it here. Have a magical birthday. Not necessarily Halloween. This could be someone who's really into sort of Harry Potter or wizards and things like that. The little mouse atop the pumpkins from Season Decor. She's even incorporated die sets from Colour of Autumn. So a few new die sets. Not actually a Halloween theme on this. These are just colourways as they are, but you can see how they all lend themselves to this beautiful, beautiful design. Last little sample to show you. Here we go. I love this one as well. So this has the Quiet Retreat, the little house in the background there from Tranquil Times. We have our owl from Have a Hoot. A few little elements there, the pumpkin and the candle from Season Decor, time-worn fence at the front, and the whole thing is mounted on the circle filigree from the wedding volume die set as well. Really great. Again, just showing you quickly all the different ways of using these, just some inspiration there. I'm going to have a little scroll back, make sure I haven't missed any questions. Essentially, these Facebook Lives are an opportunity to go through in detail how we put a card together, how the compositions come together, and how we create balance in designs. But it also provides you guys with an incredible amount of time to ask your questions. If you've got anything you'd like to see, we can always try and incorporate them in the lives as well. If you're familiar with these, you know I have to do sort of scrolling and reading and talking and cameras and all sorts of things at the same time. So do bear with me, but I will try and answer as many questions as we possibly can. Tree said, it's my birthday today and I had the mini floral dies. Ah, lovely. I think that's perfect. What a lovely addition to your crafty stash. Rachel says, hi Hannah, the vignettes are amazing. And oh, I've ended up buying so much and lots of laughing faces. Do you know what? These are going to keep you crafting for ages. Yes, they are. We have termed them Halloween themed, but as we've mentioned, these are just fun. These are a really lovely colour palette as well. If your friends are into oranges, purples, blacks, those kind of sumptuous bright colours, they work so well on your card designs. Rachel says, great offer and amazing quality artwork. Thank you. Well, it's absolutely hats off to our incredible team, Nick and his team of designers behind the scenes who create these wonderful things to bring you. Carol says, glass of Prosecco and snacks ready to enjoy the live. Goodness me, I've got a glass of Ribena. It doesn't really stack up against the Prosecco, but I might treat myself afterwards. Fiona says, it's going to be a late tea in our house. The demo is must-see. Yes. Yeah, I think for us, we wanted to bring you 3 Facebook Lives, A, because it's fun and we like doing them, and B, to give you lots and lots of inspiration, and C, to try and kind of accommodate lots of different time zones as well, because we're well aware we have lots and lots of lovely viewers from the US, and obviously the one this morning at 9 o'clock would have been a little bit early for our US viewers, so we do try and incorporate as many times as possible. Let's have a little look. Lots and lots of emojis there, Louise. Thank you. Lots of really creepy Halloween ones. That clown is positively frightening. Lots of love coming in for the demos. Thank you guys. That really means a lot. It's lovely to hear from you. And do you know what I've really enjoyed? Is in group, I've already seen lots and lots of cards coming up. I think Mandy posted one. I know Helena posted one today as well. Beverly's posted one. So it's great to see that you're getting your die sets out, you're downloading your special edition Halloween vignettes, and you are getting crafting and sharing that inspiration on our Facebook group, which is fantastic. Marion says, love the previous shows and can't wait to see what you do now. Wanting to the idea to make my sister's 40th wedding anniversary on Halloween, and brought loads so far. Fantastic, Marion. I think again the one we're going to do now, the card we're going to make now, which is inspired by Janine's, I think is going to be hot on for your sister's Halloween wedding anniversary. So hopefully you'll enjoy this demonstration. Jan says, is there a video of how to make the best out of the wedding book die? Yes, Jan, absolutely. We literally used the wedding volume die this morning on a Facebook Live that has been uploaded to both Facebook and YouTube as well. And if you hop on over to our YouTube channel, or indeed click in the videos for the brand page that you're viewing this on right now live, you will find another tutorial for another way of using the wedding volume book as well. So hopefully that will give you some inspiration there. Let's just see. Lots and lots of people adding to their wish list as well, which is fantastic. So should we get this camera turned around? The reason why we talk for a little while at the beginning of the lives is just so everyone who wants to join us live can find us and do so. But I think we've given it enough time. Let me just check. Yes, I think we've given it enough time. Let's get dived into the demo. So the card base I'm going to be using is not part of the Halloween the Halloween Special Edition Vignettes, because it doesn't actually come with a vignette. It's the gilded frame, and it creates this lovely sort of Victorian, Edwardian inspired frame. It's actually part of a Christmas Eve die set, and you've got a whole host of dies. You've got your mats and layers, you've then got your filigree, you've got further frames that you could use just in their own right, and then further filigree as well. You've got the little tag to the center, which actually has like a cutaway in. So if you're creating cards with either inserts that you want to lift out, or perhaps creating something a little bit more fancy for a gift voucher, for example, something like that, or maybe you want to put in concert tickets for someone special, or lottery ticket, or something like that, you know, you have the little tabs there you can cut into and use them as little tuck-ins. And then this strip along the top concertinas and creates the structure either side. So you'd cut two, one on this side, one on that side, for a tunnel card. Now we have actually demonstrated that on previous lives. Again, check them in the videos on the brand page, or indeed on the YouTube channel as well. So we're going to be using this as our frame. The other die sets we're going to be using, which do have the spooky Halloween spectacular makeover, will be the wedding volume die set. I know we possibly were running low on stocks on this earlier, but I know the team have actually been in work today on a Sunday, which is just amazing because they're that dedicated, and they've broken down some of the sets to add more quantity. So if it's just the wedding volume you're after, that should be available on the website now. We're going to be using the bride and groom from this set, and we're going to be using the roses, the buds, and the leaves as well from these too. So that's quite fun. That's been given a really fun spooky Halloween makeover. We may or may not use the grand carriage. It depends. I'm still undecided. So if you're used to my Facebook lives, you know these are quite organic process. I have lots and lots of die cuts out in front of me, and we just kind of work through. But let me just show you the grand carriage has been transformed into a pumpkin carriage, and I think that is absolutely spectacular. That just has Cinderella written all over it. So again, yes, we are bringing you Halloween designs, but if you want to go down the fairy tale route, swap out the black horse if you want something a little bit more friendly looking and go for the white horse because it's all interchangeable with your snippability. And then you've got sort of a pumpkin carriage, so you could play on that magical sort of fairy tale theme with that. So the grand carriage and the wedding volume were both part of Fairy Tale Day. We will also be using Pumpkin Corner. So this is from the Colour of Autumn. So that's only just launched. It's one of our most recent collections. So this is the normal colourway vignette, this nice sort of soft pumpkin spice, lovely warm autumnal colours. And then we're mixing it up. We've gone full spooky Halloween with the creepy faces. And again, those leaves have been coloured and the oranges have been coloured to match in with the leaves and the designs from the other collections we have included within the Halloween Special Edition Vignettes. We've also got the Flourish Floral. Lots and lots of people have been asking about this one. This is a really really nifty one to get, actually, because within this one, when you look on the website, this is the original colorway in this sort of yellowy golden color, but there are actually 5 colorways available to download for free on this one. So there's I think there's a blue, there's possibly like a pinky color. Part of the Halloween collection is this one, which is the lovely velvety black design as well, which I love. And I love the sort of tendricles on that, and the way the flourishes all work. That's going to be used as part of this design. And the final die set we're going to be including within this demonstration is Season Decor. I think this possibly may have sold out now, but if you were lucky enough to get that, we're going to be using a couple of the candles from that. Again, you can see the colourway on the front of the packaging there for the original colourway vignette, which is free to download. And then, of course, we've then given you your Halloween-inspired one on that as well. So, without further ado, let's start putting together our frame. So I'm just going to push my vignettes out the way a little bit. I've got piles and piles and piles of die cuts to work with. And we're going to build this frame. So this time around, what we're going to do is cut the outermost die, similar to the last demonstrations you've seen with the Widding volume. Outermost die out of 350 GSM perfect smooth cardstock. You know, it's the same as what we always do to build our card blanks. But rather than cutting 2 and having sort of a side folding or a tent folding card, I'm going to cut one of the smaller frames, which is included sort of in the middle of the design there. And this is going to sit on the back of my card to make it much more reminiscent of like a photo frame. So that will sit there. If we just line that up so it sits along the bottom like so, and then we've scored about, I don't know, let's say half an inch from the top, it really doesn't matter, just enough to allow you to pop some red liner tape in there for construction weight tape. Get my teeth around that one, and then we're going to smooth that down. Okay, so that's going to create your sort of typical look to your photo frame stands. Okay, really, really fun. And there's nice sort of angling on that as well. If I turn it around that way, you can see it just angles back beautifully. I'm just scrolling through a couple of people. Will there be, Carol's asking, will there be a USB version of these, Hannah? At this stage, I really don't know. Obviously, it just depends on what we're able to do as a team. But I will absolutely pass your feedback on to the designers at Carnation Crafts. Jeanette's asking, when will Season Decor be back in stock? I'm not sure. Obviously, with the way the world is at the moment, with sort of orders and getting things in, and, you know, driver shortages and container shortages and all that sort of jazz with the ongoing global situation, these things do take a little bit longer than normal. So for that, we can only apologise, but hopefully it won't be too long. What you can do from the product pages, if you click onto Season Decor and follow it through right to the product page where you would normally add your item to your cart or to your basket to check out, you can sign up for a product alert. If you pop your email address in the box as indicated, and then it says get an alert, click that button, our system will send you an email when the items are back in stock, and that's applicable for all products on our website if they're out of stock. So once again, because I didn't have any heavyweight black cardstock, what I've done is adapted my 350 GSM white cardstock by cutting a layer of just simple plain black cardstock, lightweight cardstock. I'm using, again, construction weight tape. It's red liner tape, nice sticky adhesive, to stick those 2 layers together to give me a black cardstock base onto which now I can start crafting. Okay, so just taking away that white and putting the black on instead. If you wanted to, I suppose you could ink the white cardstock. If you wanted to, that would be a way of using it as well. But it was just a quick way for me to create a nice heavyweight base onto which to design the card designs. Janine, our lead DT, is watching. She says, loving your Halloween live, sweetheart. Thank you, Janine. Thank you for tuning in. Shirley says, do you have any idea when the outline dies may be in again, please? Ooh, outline dies. What are the outline dies? I'm not sure, Shirley. Can you message again? Just let me know what you mean by the outline dies. I'm probably being a bit silly, but do let me know what collection they're from or something like that, and I can hopefully advise. Our next layer. Mats and layers are so incredibly important when it comes to card making. They focus the eye, they frame your cards beautifully, but they also give you a placement. They give you an area into which all of your designs can sit. And they also help you, as you've seen, if you watch the second demonstration, they will help you with perspective too, because you can play about with mats and layers. So the colour I'm using here is just this gorgeous blue. It's such a lovely, lovely blue colour. This is one of the backing paper downloads designed to match in with the Halloween Special Vignettes. And what I love about the fact you can download your cardstock, everything is then there. You know, you're not having to wait for anything to come through the post. Same with your vignettes. They are there. They're ready for you to play with, which is just fantastic. Next layer. Another one of those free backing papers. We've mentioned them in each of the lives. I will pop up the link in the comments section. But this is gorgeous. This instantly gives you this misty kind of foggy, like just kind of a little bit eerie look. You've obviously got a little center here, which could be a moon, it could be reflections on water, for example, but the stippling in the background breaks up that solid color that you've now got just as your edger, but it just gives you that point of interest. It gives you that point of texture. So with these, as you've seen me do in previous demonstrations, I'm using finger lift tape for a nice flat adhesion between the layers, and I'm just taking the carrier sheet of the tape, folding it over the edge of my die cut like so to create tabs, which means I can then easily line up my layers like so, hold my die cut in place and then peel away. Okay, once we've got one side stuck in place, we can then hands-free take away the rest of the tape, and it saves us getting into a muddle with it. It just means everything is then there ready to craft with. Okay, just making sure I haven't got any other questions coming in. Sylvia says, hi Hannah, how's Ruben? He's doing really well, thank you, Sylvia. For anyone that doesn't know, Ruben is my little good boy, and he is such a little poppet. He's with Daddy at the moment. Daddy's looking after him, which is just so sweet. He's been a very good boy with Mummy, doing lots and lots of back-to-back Facebook Lives today. So the gilded frame, as you might sort of guess from the name, comes with this beautiful, I'm going to say Victorian inspired frame design. I love this. I think it's absolutely spectacular. And actually, let me just show you where I got that cardstock from. That gold cardstock, oh, let me grab it, is from our Perfect Finish Gold card pack. You've got 30 A4 sheets. They're 250 GSM, and you have a range of finishes. So you have like a glittery finish. You've then got a shiny finish. Oh, mirror finish. Goodness me, look at that. You can see my camera is all reflected in that. Isn't that fabulous? And then we have, let me grab that one, a satin finish as well. So let me grab out the glitter and let me grab out one of the shiny ones. Where are you? That's the matte. That'll be fine. Where's the glitter? Where's the shiny one? I've obviously gone to town on the shinies. I showed you one a minute ago. They're somewhere in here. Either way, they come as a selection, okay? Now, I really felt that I wanted to create a design which was a very grungy look for our frame. So I cut the gilded part of the gilded frame. Remember, this is from the A Christmas Eve collection. And I just felt, you know what, it is beautiful. If I was making this into a Christmas card or an golden wedding anniversary or something like that, I would leave it plain. But I wanted something spooky. I wanted something more Halloween. So if I just slip that out to one side, I'm going to work on a little bit of plastic here. What we can do with our die cut and our cardstock is start adding in a little bit of fun, okay? Why don't we go mad? Let's use some alcohol inks. So these are Tim Holtz Ranger alcohol inks. I'm using the colours sepia and the colour, where are you? Patina, I think. Yeah, patina. In a brown and in a green. I'm going to dab out a little bit onto my plastic. This is just a poly pocket. I use them for my demonstrations, pack my demonstrations in. And a little bit of green, okay? Now we're going to take a sponge. This is so much fun, okay? sponge on a little bit of the alcohol ink and then dab just randomly over the surface of the cardstock, okay? What happens is you get this fantastic reaction between the alcohol in the alcohol inks and the ink used on the gilded frame, on this gold finish, and it begins mottling the design. It begins mottling the ink on the surface, okay? I'm going to take a little bit of that green, dab it off. We're applying it with a sponge because it gives you a stippled texture as well, so it ends up looking even more grungy, if you like. You see how you're knocking that colour back. You can go between the brown and the green, sort of mix the colours, blend the colours on the frame itself, and just build up layers. So you're going from something quite gold and quite sparkly to something a little bit more time-worn, a little bit more grungy, okay? So you can continue that over the surface of your frame. If you prefer the full shiny gold look, go for it. You know, this is your cards. It's up to you how you want to use these. But once we've finished adding in, do you see how you've transformed that gold card into something that looks like it has been sort of worn? It's got a patina across it. It's got this aged effect. It's a little bit more grungy, which is just fabulous. Chris says, sorry, did you say there was a download for the plain coloured cardstock, please? Found the backing papers, which are great, but not the cardstock. Thank you. Yes, you will find the cardstock within the, what should we call it, Halloween vignettes. If you scroll down right to the bottom of the PDF files, for the Halloween Special Edition vignettes, you will have the pages there of the plain coloured cardstock. There we go. So I'm just taking off the elements there. So what I've done on the back, I've added in a few of the foam pads this time. The reason I'm using foam pads instead of pin flare glue gel, so as you guys know, pin flare glue gel is my go-to. I wanted foam pads on this one just because I want the frame at a certain height and a level height all the way around. And I want to start loading up sort of flowers and things like that on top of it. So I wanted something quite stable quite quickly, hence why using the foam pads. But what I've done, I've stuck just the top, allowing me to then go in and remove the carrier sheet for the foam pads all the way around. So again, it's a similar sort of way how I stick down the mats and layers and things like that, rather than committing to the stick and then finding I've stuck it wrong and not being able to adjust it. If we only stick a portion, it allows us to go in and then take off like so. There is a more nifty way of getting the backs off these. It's with your pokey tool. You can sort of poke the backs off, but I've not mastered that technique. I watch in absolute envy of the guys on the other demonstrations on Create and Craft, like Dawn, who can just go in and flick the backs off with their pokey tools, but it's not something I can do. So I just have to struggle with my nails for a little while. So bear with me, and I'll try and read through some comments as well. Let's just have a look. Hi Hannah, just love what you and Janine have done with these vignettes. Absolutely fabulous. That is from Fiona, who is also part of our DT. Thank you, Fiona. I know you were travelling earlier, so I hope you got to your destination safely. Let me just pop that down. So there we have our frame. So this gives us our base layer onto which to start building our story. As you know, with Carnation, we love telling stories. We love building up these designs. So within our frame, what I would like to include is our happy couple. So we've got our bride and groom looking suitably fearsome. And again, the way I've cut the backing paper means the sort of halo, if you like, of the moon or whatever it happens to be in the background of the backing paper then sort of frames the couple's head beautifully. Onto this we can then start building up, you know, designs. Perhaps we're going to go in with our flowers there. Perhaps we're going to go in with our pumpkins on the other side to bring in that spooky feel. You know, it really is up to you. However, there is another little thing I wanted to share with you, another little way of crafting, which just gives you something a bit fun, okay? We can download these vignettes, absolutely. We can print them off on our Pro printing paper, absolutely. This is what you hear me say and use all the time throughout all my demonstrations. But because they're your downloads, you're not limited to just using them on Pro printing paper. How's about printing them on vellum, okay? Instantly, you get this amazing quality. So you're transforming something from a solid design, like our bride here, where you can't see through her, into something that's translucent, which makes it look, or gives it the appearance of, more like a ghost. So really in keeping with the Halloween theme. So the vellum I've printed on is actually Carnation Crafts vellum. It's available on our website. It is 20 A4 sheets, 160 GSM, which is great because it's nice sort of midweight, so it will stand up to being nice and flat on your designs without buckling and things like that. So for our design, I'll just put my vellum down. Rather than having my happy couple in the normal sort of pro printing paper that you see me normally use, what I've done is I've taken them and printed them on vellum. And now, rather than looking solid, they are definitely more ghost-like. Isn't that fun? Because you can see the backgrounds through them and things like that. And I had printed out the horse and carriage as well. So if I was creating this card, just to give you an idea of other ways of using these, if I was creating this card landscape rather than the portrait, what we could have is our ghostly carriage, okay, with the horse and the carriage and everything like that from Fairy Tale Day, and then include our spooky ghosts in front. It gives such a nice sort of quality because you can see through them, okay? It's a really, really fun way of using your vignettes. So something to consider. For me, I'm going to create this card portrait, and I'm going to use my spooky couple as the center point, like so. What I would like to do is just snip into his hand. So again, I'm just lifting. You can see you can snip in quite easily because it comes away like so. Just snip in to release his hand and his arm somewhat, so he can have his hand on his bride as well. So there's a little bit more connection between the couple. So there we go. So we've released his hand. That means when he stands next to his bride, do you see now how the hand can come across onto the bride itself? And it just creates this more sort of, again, more storytelling to the design itself. Now I'm actually going to stick those in place. I think I'm going to stick them in place using a little bit of red liner tape. When you're using your red liner tape or storing your red liner tape, please do consider using either something like talcum powder, or dabbing the tape sides on like a kitchen roll. So separate them all when you get them home. Dab some either talcum powder or kitchen roll on each side, and that stops your rolls sticking together, unlike me who chucks them in my bag for the shows and they all get stuck together, so then I have to use them in a big old clump of red liner tape. I mean, it's not the end of the world if it does that, but it's just a little bit easier if we think about it before we put them in our bags. I'm going to stick a little bit of red liner tape on her dress just to have our bride in place. I'm not using too much, and what I'm not going to do is really squish them down because I don't want the tape showing on the other side of the vignettes, but it is sort of dark enough not to cause too much of a distraction when we come to stick these in place. So let's just remove the red line tape like so. Again, things like talcum powder will stop the and anti-static bags will stop the red liner tape carrier sticking to you. Does anyone else get driven crazy by that? They are so annoying, aren't they? These little bits of red, they get everywhere. So just removing the two carrier sheets, and we're going to place our happy couple into the frame like so. So we're just lining them up so they're grounded. Our little groom is going to be just with a hand on his bride like so, and then we're going to stick, preferably not my fingers, to the die cut. There we go. So we've got our happy couple there in our vintage photo frame. So that looks great in itself. I mean, you could just pop a little sentiment on there, happy anniversary, if you wanted to. And then we will start then adding in a little bit of flourishes. So I'm going to build these As always, you're going to see me do this with probably every single demonstration I do. I'm going to get my foam mat and I'm going to ball the pumpkins to give them a little bit more roundness. Let's have a look through the comments. Paul says, for some reason my Halloween colour vignettes PDFs are stripes and not full colour sheets. Spooky. That sounds like just simply a download error with your files there, Paul. What I'd recommend is try downloading them again. I know a couple of people have messaged in to say they are just strips of colour. They should be full pages. We're getting mixed reports on that, so do just try downloading them again. If not, the team will be back in the office tomorrow. Give them a little bell, give them an email with your order number, and I'm sure they'll be able to direct you to the right place. Elaine says, well, Hannah, I've just been through 37 collections to find the black rose. I can't find it. No, so upset. As I know I have it. Never mind, it will turn up eventually. Elaine, well, the if it helps, I don't know whether it will. Hopefully it will. The Flourished Floral launched as a free die set if you purchased the full collection of vernal blooms from Create and Craft when we launched vernal blooms on the channel as part of the takeover back in May, I think it was. That might help somewhat to guide you in the right direction. If not, hopefully it will turn up for you somewhere. Pumpkins. I really wanted to include the pumpkins because Pumpkin Corner is a really new die set that came out as part of Colour of Autumn, and it's fun to introduce something new to the designs as well, but also because it reminds me so much of like The Nightmare Before Christmas with the Corpse Bride and things like that. I wanted that kind of nod to Jack Skellington and things like that. So I just had to have the pumpkins in there, like the Pumpkin King. I'm also going to include a few of our gorgeous sumptuous black roses that hopefully Elaine will be able to find soon so she can craft along with them. And at this stage it is just a case, as you've seen me do before, of layering and building and just finding the look of my card that I want to go for. What I've also done, and I did mention it previously, is printed out the purple version of the Flourish Floral because this is another free download, and I felt with the flowers from the wedding volume it was quite nice to have sort of like a shocking purple, if you like, when you put it against the oranges and the lilacs from the wedding volume. So again, it's just mixing and matching. It's personal taste. It's whatever you want to use with your designs. What I am going to do though is snip into this Flourish Floral to remove the filigree or the trailing elements, and then use them in different orientations. So remember, with Carnation Crafts, yes, we provide the vignettes, yes, we provide the artwork, and hopefully, you know, some of the inspiration as well, but you don't have to use it in that orientation. You could have the tendricles then coming out from behind those roses there as well. I'm going to snip into a couple of them actually, because I don't think I'm going to use any of them in that orientation. So I'm just going to get a couple ready and check through the comments. Ginny from Michigan, will we be able to watch this later, as I love to watch and then pay more attention later? You can tell it's been a long day for lots of talking for me because I'm already losing my words. Yes, absolutely, Ginny. What we always do is we upload all of the Facebook Lives to our brand page for you to watch back afterwards, so our Facebook brand page, and also our YouTube channel as well. So hopefully you'll find lots and lots of inspiration to watch back at your leisure. And then you can always include your posts as extra inspiration in our Carnation Crafters Facebook group as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful group full of fantastically supportive people who share their inspiration of their cards. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, we've already had lots of people sharing their Halloween makes as well, which is just fantastic. Elaine says, found it in Vernal Blooms. Thanks for the tip. Looked in there twice too. It's hidden by the vignettes. Elaine, you did a me look. And if my boss Mark is watching, or indeed Nick, you will know what a Hannah look is, because Hannah will look once and then say, it's not there. Where is it? And it's there. It always has been there. I just haven't looked properly. Even my mum says, have you done a Hannah look? It's just an ongoing joke within our family and all my work colleagues. So yeah, Hannah looks. Yeah, Carla does it too, to be fair. Carla does a Carla look. If I leave her little presents in the green room or things, she does a Carla look. And we did have a giggle when I was on air last Thursday with the Christmas celebration stamps, I did a Hannah look and couldn't find any of the samples, and they were there. They were there. But we just smile, don't we? We just laugh at these little things. But I'm very glad you found it. And I look forward to seeing your creations with it now as well, Elaine. So again, a few of these roses, just snipping into them. I don't know how many I'm going to use. We're just going to see. We're going to see how this card evolves. So one thing I'm quite keen to do, actually, because I've got quite a nice heavy base for the pumpkins, is creating a few of my own decoupage layers for the black rose. So let's just start. Let's snip away part of the flourish. And now let's take a look at how this would be. Okay, so first off, our first decoupage layer I'm going to suggest would be just the rose rather than having the leaves on there. So let's snip away the rose. So all I'm doing here is following the cut line details as neatly and gently as possible, because nothing's ever wasted. These leaves can go to one side to be included in another card or another area of this card. Snipping away, snipping away, snipping away, like so. And that will give us the next layer for our rose. Next layer, let's go in and create another decoupage layer, because I have got plenty of die cuts in order to do this. Again, another reason why your downloads are so handy when it comes to making things, because if this was a paper pack, I'd feel a little bit nervous about cutting into them and almost being quite extravagant by using lots and lots of layers for your decoupage. Here, I know I can print this out again and again and again, should I wish to, and cut out as many decoupage layers as I like. All of these leaves are going to one side. I did cut that a little bit roughly. Let me just neaten that up. Just snipping into there, wherever we've got the cut line details coming in. Does that work, or do I want that just snipped away a little bit further? You see there, I'm just offering that up and just testing the area there. So once that's built, it will be a nice full flower. So you can create your own decoupage with these things as well. The other flowers I'm just going to leave flat, and same with the purple one as well. I'm not going to build up the layers on those. So let's begin by shaping with probably our pokey tool to start with. Leaves, giving them a twist and turn. I always do say, when it comes to your die cuts, don't stick things flat to your card. Give them shape, give them dimension. It gives them a much more realistic look, and it just creates really wonderful points of interest. Now, pin flare. I've mentioned it on the other lives, but I have to share it with you guys as well. You've probably already heard me say it. We now have pin flare glue gel in its syringes and in tube form, available directly from Carnation Crafts. So go stock up. If you're popping things into your basket, perhaps you're adding a few vignettes, for example, whatever it is it may be, or a few of these dies that you've seen me working with, add in your pin flare. The reason why I love pin flare glue gel is because A, it's dimensional, it gives you height, it gives you added interest, it gives you design. What it will also do for you is mean you've got wiggle room. So you see, when I start adding things onto the card, like my roses here, I haven't necessarily got a set plan on how these are going to work, or where these are going to work, or whether I want to change it up or pop things underneath them. By using the pin flare, it means I've got more choice. I've got more time to go in and adjust. So the roses there, the petals that we created from the decoupage, again, just using my ball tool and a dense foam mat to add height and dimension, giving those lots of lovely shape, and then accentuating that shape with the pin flare to the middle. We can then layer. So we're creating a focal point just to balance out, because the pumpkins are going to be on the other side and we don't want the card looking really heavy on one side. Final decoupage layer going in like so. And you see how you're creating much more height compared to the one behind. Now I am going to use my purple one as well. And as we've talked about previously, it is great to add things to your card in odd numbers, because the eye likes to find the centre of a design. So 3 roses to one corner. Yes, it's going to feel really full, but you know what? Why not? It's really sumptuous. Let's go for it. A little bit more glue gel on the back. And this one, because I don't want to detract from the fact I'm using these great to dark flowers, I'm going to pop them underneath. So I'm just lifting what I've already stuck down and then nestling. So don't be afraid to overlap, don't be afraid to overlay. The whole idea here is you're creating this feel of something that's very kind of sumptuous, kind of full. Okay, now for my beautiful little flowers down here, pumpkins, not flowers, Hannah, I'm going to add in roses behind. So I'm just trying to make a decision whether I cut those leaves away and add them in at a later stage. I'm not sure yet. Let's just lay that out and just sit with that for a bit and see how I feel. Okay. I think I'm going to cut the leaves away. Again, this is how it is. This is crafting at its best. It's one of those things where it's an organic process. The die cuts are yours and you can use them as you wish. So just snipping those leaves away, just to leave the pumpkins. I'm going to snip all the leaves away. I might even put some of the leaves back in the exact same place, but it just gives me the option there, should I wish to change things up a little bit. So keeping all those leaves in my pile of leaves that I've created to one side there, and then I am going to stick those pumpkins in place so you can see how we're starting to balance the design. So yes, it's very top heavy at the moment, but you're balancing with those pumpkins there. Now I'm just going to have a little bit of a pause as I refill my pin flare. It's been a very hard working pin flare today. I've done several cards. I'm just going to take off the bit where that's dried and then just squeeze into the tube. We're not going to fill it up all the way, just fill it up enough for what we need and then scrape that over the edge of our tube before we replace the cap and pop the plunger back in. There we go. Who has plans for Halloween? I know we mentioned this in the earlier Facebook Live, but I'd love to hear about what you guys are up to for Halloween. I think Simon and I are going to probably have a night in. Actually, no, we won't. When is Halloween? Not next Sunday, the Sunday after, isn't it? We will be on our way back from visiting Simon's sister, actually. So we'll have a long car journey ahead of us with a tiny baby, which is probably the most terrifying Halloween I'm ever going to have. Trying to get home with a crying baby in the car. Bless him. There we go. Let's just twist and turn those leaves and then shake that out as well before adding a little bit of pin flare to the back. So again, it's all about adding in this balance. And at the moment you might think, okay, well, Hannah, you're using awfully bulky flowers and things to create this. I want to create this very nestled in feel, this very almost claustrophobic feel, if you want to go down that route where you've got these oversized flowers for the frame. It's a fun way of crafting. It pushes your thought process from outside the box. You know, it's something a little bit different. But we can start softening these by adding back in the filigree, adding back in leaves, adding in smaller flowers. So once we've got the basis of which we're happy to work with, we can start adding in design, okay? I'm going to pour out a little bit of my super clear decoupage glue from Carnation Crafts, and I'm going to grab my glue applicator and I'm going to start filling the rest of this frame with flourishes and detail and leaves and smaller flowers, just to start really building the bulk, if you like, the design aspect rather than just the big flowers that we've got placed at the moment. Okay, so one flourish goes in. Another reason to use your pin flare glue gel is that wiggle room. It just gives us time to go in and adjust as needed. So I've tucked that little flourish underneath that rose. I would like another flourish coming out the other way. Now, if you saw the earlier Facebook, the very first Facebook Live I did, it's a similar process to building our floors as what we did with that one. But I don't think this technique can be shown too many times because each time it's different, but it gives you a little bit more confidence each time you see it being done, of overlaying, of building up your flourishes as well. Pearl says, wow, this is fantastic, Hannah. That's really sweet, Pearl. Thank you. All I'm doing is placing the sets, the designs, everything that you have access to. So it means you guys can be crafting just like this as well. Just follow the steps that we're putting in place here, and you can be crafting just as we are live at the moment. Now, those leaves that I took away earlier from the pumpkins, I'm going to snip off the corn and leave ourselves with just the leaves, and that's going to extend that side of the frame. So you're basically creating a look around the frame and using that frame as your basis, as your guide to where to place things. Okay, so again, it's that look, that trailing feel and vibe to your design. Now the corn I'm going to pop in a minute. I would like another little bit of a trail going up. Depends which way I want round. I want it probably the other way. You've got options. Because we're working with our mirrored vignettes, you have the same design on the reverse of your die cut as what you do on the front, which, yes, is great for the over the edge cards. If you're going to have a look from behind, you're going to see the colour on the back of these leaves, on the back of these roses, so nothing's going to detract. But it does give you then options to go in and stick them in different orientations as well. So here we've got the filigree, that sort of tendril just coming down like so, curving out the other way, just adjusting those leaves and things to stick them so it hides the little edge bits like so. I'm going to have one of them coming along the bottom as well, just escaping from behind the pumpkins too. And I'm using my Super Clear Everyday Decoupage glue just on the tips there, and then tucking them in behind the areas like so. I want them coming over the edge. I want them escaping onto the design as well, because it's all about this idea that there's some sort of essence that they're alive, that they're growing out of this design we're creating. I've got my sort of four corners, my filigrees in. I'm going to add more, but I want to start adding in a few of the smaller roses just to balance up the design a little bit. So little black rose just behind the pumpkin there. And it's a great way of hiding any areas if you splodge glue, or if you're trying to hide the areas where we cut away the little design, the little flourishes as well. Just tucking. Now I'm going to go in with a couple of the purple ones as well, because if I just lift and place, you see now you're breaking up that expanse of black colour. It just draws in a little bit of detailing, it draws in a little bit of colour, but it also means what it's doing is making that black even darker, because you've got something to compare it against. Each one we're popping down, we're just balling away, adding our pin flare glue gel, and then tucking. Okay, so it's just this continual cycle, this continued process of layering. Overlap them, nestle them, give them this full look and full effect. We've also got obviously the other roses and things. These are from the I don't know why I have to sing it. You know, when you're thinking you have to sing. These are from the Wedding Volume die collection. And what I'd like for these is to perhaps come out and even more tendrils, even more feel to the design. But these might work better again, snipped into, just so I can adjust the orientation of them to make them suit the size of the frame. Again, you've got options on this, and this is what I love about crafting. There, we've got our little flower, just tweaking those leaves as well. Let's have that rose. Let's have a couple of these roses actually. Perhaps one. I quite like that actually, overlapping the pumpkin stalk there. There, let's have another one of those roses. Snipped into. And then neatened off. So anything we cut away, we're just neatening off with our scissors. And like so. And then a little bit of pin flare as well. And again, this is going to be coming out possibly in front of the pumpkins actually, just to change up the look. But I'm going to make sure we're having it in an orientation where the leaves aren't overhanging the edge. If you're finding they are, just snip them away. That's the beauty of crafting. Okay, so we've got little pumpkins there. So you're starting to nestle in the pumpkins. Again, it's drawing back that colour from being that really obvious orange, just nestling it back a little bit. Let's go in with another one of these. Let's have a couple of these ones. Again, just snipping away. So by having the roses from the Wedding Volume die set in the Special Edition Halloween colourway with the leaves on, again, you're breaking up that look, you're breaking up the design, but it adds more foliage to the design of the overall card as well. Let's have you trailing down this side. So this is where we're going to start needing the pokey tool, just lift and place, I think. Lift and place, and then just tease that into position. And let's go in with a couple more of just the plain roses there as well. So you've got options on all of these. Oh, I don't know where my tweezers have gone. They've gone for a little walk by the looks of it. There you are. Losing things on my craft desk now. And then just mirroring what we've done, just adding in that little bit of colour. So you see how now that black is even more black because you've got that detailing from that rose. It's going to need, what's it going to need? It's going to need some leaves in here. It's going to need some candles. It's going to need some rosebuds. I think let's go in with leaves next. I've got a whole host of these icy colour leaves. You saw me using them in the first demonstration there as well. These are also from the Wedding Volume die collection. And then what I'm going to do is just snip in to release just areas. So I'm taking the longest one and trimming them all down. Just so I've got smaller areas of tuck-ins that can be used within the design. Anywhere I've snipped, I'm just going to remove the stems just to make them a little bit more rounded. I'm going to take a couple at a time of the long ones and just snip in. Okay, so it's giving me a few little pieces to work with. So this is going to add instant texture. Because they're nice and open as well, it means you can use them tucked in behind the smaller flowers and things, and it's not going to detract from the look. It's in fact going to aid that look, and it's just going to give you just little extras, little detailings to add to embellishments. Knowing how these sort of designs progress and things like that, I hope you're kind of beginning to get the understanding of how we layer and how we introduce looks and things to bring in this sense of a real life bouquet, because in real life these things would all overlap and intertwine and things like that. Using just my everyday super clear decoupage glue as an anchor point, leaving the rest of the die cut free. This one I'm going to slip down behind there, just to create a little bit of backing. So you're bringing in these ideas where they're mirrored and things like that. Everything then starts drawing together like an overall theme. The arches and the curves on these are really lovely at creating an undulated look to your bouquets. So by that I mean you've got sort of tendricles coming one way. You can mirror that. You can add to that design by going in and adding your leaves. Okay, you see how it's following that curve. It's creating shape and dimension to your card design. A little bit of a longer one at the top there, using the tweezers, so it's kind of hands free to get into underneath the petals and things like that and tuck and place. Got a little bit of fluff on there. I'm sure that's something to do with morph. And this one, let me just get my tweezers around the right way. And there. Oops. Helps if I let go of the tweezers, honey. Let's just tuck that back in and place. So again, you're creating these swirls, you're creating these undulations through the leaves themselves. Okay, last little leaf going in for now. And then we're going to move on to the vines and the rosebuds as well. Really, it's up to you how much of this you add in, how much you want to include. It's just until it looks right for you, okay? Now, rosebuds, where did you go? Here we go. Again, these are great for extending the lines on your card. And by that I mean sort of the lines coming up the side and along the top and things like that. Again, just like the leaves, they're a lightweight way of doing so. They work in with the rest of the collection. And they just add in a little bit of dimension. Okay, so again, lifting, tucking and placing, using them in different orientations. So you've got that one for the black rose, the flourish floral coming over, then this one looping over the other way, creating that sense of just a little bit of fun, just a little bit of detailing. I'm going to have a few more coming along the top there as well. I might snip that down just slightly so we don't overload the top too much. Snip you out and snip you across. You can go in my drawer for another day. And then gluing just on the tips, again just using that as an anchor point, and then turning my card just so I've got access, then placing that rose, again following those curved lines, placing and tucking, so you're creating that feel. Let's go in with a little bit more. I feel this side could do with a few of maybe just the roses without the design like so. Perhaps we just snip those away and have just a few of the rosebuds on a vine. Again, the options there. Got different ways of crafting with these. Tweezers. And then glue. Now, because we've done this quite a few times throughout the demonstrations, hopefully it's given you guys a little bit of confidence to try different ways of crafting, different ways of layering up. Do let me know in the comments if it's something you'd like to start including on your card designs as well, because it's a lot of fun to work with. It's a lot of fun to play around with these kind of looks as well. I'm going to go in with a few more leaves on that side because the awkward angle of that rose bud coming out just needs a little bit of softening. So I think with another set of leaves coming in another direction, overlapping and overlaying, it's just going to soften that angle out a little bit. So let's just lift and tuck. And we're using our super clear everyday decoupage glue because it hides all sins, it dries clear, and it means it just gives you a nice finish to your designs. There we go, that's better. What else do we need? Let's have a little look. Sometimes it's good just to step back and have a look at how this is progressing before we start overloading it. I do want to break up this area here. This area here is quite dark. So I think the easiest way to achieve that is with just a little sprig of the silvery leaves. These leaves that I'm using are from the Wedding Volume die set, a really handy die set. There's lots and lots of dies within that to craft with. The spell book, for example, you saw me use in the first demonstration, the happy couple we have here, the bride and groom. You've got your sentiment in there, the little roses you've seen me using, those are all part of that same die set, the Wedding Volume. And we will pop up details at the end of the die sets we have used, as we always do for the demonstrations. Just add in a little bit of leaves there to break up that expanse of black. So it's little things that just give you pause, give you time to then have a look and discover more on your card. I'm liking how that's looking. I think I will include a few little candles, again going in that kind of Halloween lantern theme, but this time around I'm going to snip the candle away from its base, so you're just working with basically the pillar candle like so, and then almost like a little tea light one as well, just to give you that corner, so you're kind of squaring off that corner as well, adding in a little bit of design there. Going to round off the candle and go in with my pin flare glue gel. Again, that glue gel is just lifting that curve. It's just keeping that form on the base, and then sticking said candle to pumpkin, like so, for the foreground of our look. And same again with this little tea light. Just a little bit of pin flare on the back and overlapping. So you're creating, even within this card, similar to what we did with the the sort of panoramic forest scene, you're creating your foreground. Even with that, you're creating that design. Now I think this little area here where we've used the leaves, we've not got that colour repeated down here, and I think we do need to draw in that colour along the bottom. So we can do that perhaps with the little ears of corn, just so everything's then mirrored, nothing's wasted. I think that would be a nice way of including that colour. It's something you'll see me do a lot, is have a little pause, have a little look at the design and see where we just need to add in just a little touch extra. And let's just go in with our corn just behind. I don't want it overwhelming, it's just as a little hint. And you see now you've got the colour here and you've got the colour here and the similar colour in the candle. So it's creating your triangle, it's creating your focus. I think I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. Maybe a few little more leaves at the top there. Should we go for it? Why not? Let's just go in. Just to extend the line over the edge of the card, again, playing with that sense of perspective, playing with that idea that these flowers and things are escaping from the overall design. Like so, it gives that full voluminous look to your designs. Let's go in with that one as well, because that's a little off cut. And just trim him down ever so slightly, like so. Again, following the line that is already placed, and a little bit of glue along the back. And tuck. There. I think I'm quite happy with how that's looking. What do you guys think? Of course, it's up to you. You can add and take away and just take elements from this. But I think that's a really fun little anniversary card. Obviously overloading the card with big voluminous flowers, leaves and things like that to bring you in this Halloween feel does give a lot of life to the card. Again, it's a really lovely way of crafting. So what we've used within this design, the card base itself is the gilded frame card set from a Christmas Eve, not part of the Halloween download vignettes. It doesn't come with vignettes, but we showed you how to then incorporate the backing papers and the cardstock and also the alcohol inks on the gold cardstock there. We've then got our bride and groom and our little lilac roses, as well as our leaves and our little rosebuds there from the wedding volume die set. Remember, we cut the bride and groom from vellum to give them a ghostly appearance. We've then got the black florals and these brighter purple florals from the Flourish Floral. And then we've got our pumpkin corner from Pumpkin Corner, Colour of Autumn, and a few of the little candles from Season Decor as well. Hopefully that gives you some inspiration on using these. Let me just turn that around on the camera so you can see. There we go. Getting dark outside now, perfect for your Halloween makes. Perhaps you want to add even more height to the frame itself and then pop in some little tiny lights behind them to give them an even spookier feel. If you use a darker colour background backing paper, obviously that's going to show more through the vellum of your ghostly bride and groom. But it's again just something a little bit fun, something a little bit different to create perhaps for an anniversary card. Again, doesn't necessarily just have to be for Halloween. If you want to take the pumpkins away, it will just be a spooky anniversary card there as well. Let me just check I haven't missed any questions coming in. Let's just check. Cindy says here, I love each card you do, still marveling at how gorgeous all the colours are and how they all work together. Yeah, that is absolute credit to the team at Carnation. They do come up with the most absolutely stunning artwork and designs for you guys to enjoy at home. Thank you, Cindy. Nevis says, hi, I managed to catch this morning's tutorial, but only just managed to join this one. That's very kind. You're more than welcome. It's just fabulous. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you guys. Humberta says, just love this card, Hannah. Actually have all the demos. Thank you, Humberta. That's lovely. She says, Amai is quietly sitting watching you right now. She's been crazy all morning until you started crafting. Must play more of these when I need a break from her little kitten insanity, I guess. That's Humberta's lovely little foster kitten who is just adorable. That's lovely to hear from you, Humberta. Thank you. Cindy says, I love how this mixes elements from different collections, but now I want the dies from all the collections I don't have. Yeah, that is the only problem, isn't it, with Carnation? It is just an absolute want, isn't it, with these things, an absolute need. Lovely, lots of comments come in. Thank you for all your kind words. Pearl says, wow, love the gold frame. Did you say you used alcohol inks to colour over it? I missed the beginning of the video. Yes, Pearl, we did demonstrate that actually at the start of the video. What you can absolutely do is watch it back and we go through, but yes, it is alcohol inks I used on that. To give it a more grungy vibe and tone the colours down so they work within this kind of spooky vibe. Thank you all for your kind comments. As always, I will pop the links up after today, but remember, the deal of the day for these Halloween special edition vignettes finishes tonight just before midnight, so don't hang about. If you are interested in getting them, pop them in your baskets, take them through the checkout. As we said earlier, even if you don't have all the dies, it is well worth taking advantage of that bundle price for them. Add your things, get your pin flare, because that's on the website now, and I can't tell you how much I love that glue. It's fantastic. Get your vellums if it's something you've not tried. As you've seen with these, it gives a really fun spooky look to your Halloween design, but also, as you saw earlier in the other cards we've made, it works incredibly well too. And we'll just show you the other cards we've created during today's Facebook Lives, just as a little recap. So here is the first one, featuring the wedding volume die set. We've got the florals, as you see me, similar sort of design with the florals on here, but this includes the mouse from the Enchanters and his potion. We've got a pumpkin from Season Decor and the owl from Have a Hoot, but we've crafted it so the pages can open. It might be that you want to include little magnets on the inside of the vignettes, for example, to keep those pages closed, but it really is up to you. If you want to create a memory book design from this, you can absolutely do so. So that was this morning's demonstration. Again, they are all available to watch back. And then this afternoon's demonstration was this panoramic scene featuring a wily fox, quiet retreat, and over the trees from Tranquil Times. And then we've got the avenue and time worn from our Misty Morning collections as well. So 3 different looks, 3 different ways of crafting with these Halloween vignettes. Huge thank you to Janine as well, who's crafted and designed some gorgeous samples, which we showed you at the start of the show, and you can always look at that, back at those on our inspiration pages and through our social media too. Thank you all for joining me. I will be back. We've got a show advertised Wednesday at 3, but we might need to adjust the time on that, so apologies if I do have to make an adjustment to that. I will pop up details tomorrow, and then I'm back in the US for the early bird launch of Wild Garden, our next die collection, on Thursday, and then we've got the UK launch on Friday of Wild Garden at 12 o'clock, and of course I will try and do a show preview for that to run through that collection for you as well. So busy week ahead. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Please share your inspiration with myself and the other crafters in our friendly Facebook group, Carnation Crafters. I can't wait to see your Halloween makes. Until next time, stay safe, and I shall see you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.